Hi, my name is Dr. John Moore with Second Story Consultants LLC in Chicago, and I'm here to invite you to join me and the Sloan Consortium in our next offering of Avoiding Online Faculty Burnout, Solution-Focused Pathways to Prevention. This workshop has been created specifically for educators and support staff involved with online learning who are looking for concrete solutions to help reduce stress and avoid feeling burned out. If you sign up for just one workshop this year, make this the one, because as facilitator of this workshop, I thought it might be helpful to provide some information about my background. I've been involved with distance learning for over 15 years as a student and as an instructor. I've seen the world of online learning experience explosive growth, catching myself and many of my colleagues by surprise. This growth has been extremely positive and has created new opportunities for many, including me. With that shared, this tremendous growth has also caused many of us to take on increased responsibilities and assume new roles. Think about it. Many online educators do so much more than teach. In truth, we're technology professionals, course designers, online learning management software specialists, and content developers. Here's a question for you to reflect on, which I think brings home the point. When is the last time you took a day off from work? Not a half a day, not a few hours, but an entire day. Still thinking? You see, for those who are not involved with online course instruction, there exists a misperception that the work we do is somehow easy or not all that difficult. In truth, what we do can sometimes feel brutal. We online educators recognize that teaching online means experiencing stressors that are unique to the world in which we live. I can tell you that as a therapist in private practice, I work with many online educators who seek my guidance and support because they feel overwhelmed and commonly burned out. And so part of our exploration of burnout will include validation of what many of you may be experiencing. I'd like you to take a moment and think about how the continued growth in the e-learning space has impacted you as an educator. For many of us, it means having more students, more grading tasks, more quality checks, more accountability, more interaction, more teaching, and ultimately, more time online. Is it any wonder why so many of us often feel so stressed out and at times diminished? Dare I say, burned out? And so, some of the most common requests I hear from people who want to take a workshop in burnout prevention is, how can I stop feeling so overwhelmed and stressed out? How can I strike that balance between work and personal? And how can I make my life work as an online educator? And so that's the goal for this workshop, to help you as a teaching professional experience less stress, find that healthy balance between work and personal, and ultimately feel more empowered. To achieve that end, this workshop has a two-pronged approach. First, we'll explore what burnout really means in the clinical sense. We will assess the signs and symptoms of burnout and develop a deeper understanding of how this problem can exacerbate already existing health problems, and how, if left unchecked, may lead to other problems, such as depression and anxiety. Second, we will explore what many of you are eager to learn about, how to prevent burnout from happening in the first place. For those of us who may already be experiencing burnout, we will assess what steps need to be taken to stop the damage and to determine the new and healthy ways of coping for the future. When we step deep inside of part one of this workshop, we will go over some of the signs and symptoms of burnout. And here's just a small sampling of what we will explore. First, it's important to know that burnout is a very real clinical syndrome with specific symptoms which in a cluster include emotional exhaustion, the depersonalization of others, and reduced feelings of accomplishment. Does any of this sound familiar? As we step further into the exploration of burnout, we will assess the specific causal factors which may contribute to this condition, which are unique to online educators. Part of this exploration will be the acknowledgement that the work we do has unique stress, which is in a world of its own. And here's just some of the realities that many of you may be able to identify with in the work that you do. E-educators typically need to have specialized classroom delivery technology knowledge, such as Blackboard or Sakai. They need to have the ability to create and stimulate e-group discussions, specialized organizational skills, the ability to work in a 24/7 reality, because most classes are asynchronous. They need to have strong time management skills, which go above and beyond what most workplace situations call for, and the reality that many of us work from home. There are many other stressors that we'll explore and discuss in the class. These were just a few. Can you think of any more? And so I only really have 4 main objectives for this workshop. They're as follows. 1, to determine the signs and symptoms of burnout. 2, to determine your burnout risk level. 3, to identify healthy ways of coping with burnout. And 4, to create a pathway for wellness in the future. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. I feel passionately about this topic, and I'm confident that what we will cover in this workshop may be life-changing. To fit this important training into your busy schedule, this workshop will last for 10 days, allowing for plenty of time to read through the material, interact with your fellow colleagues, and fully absorb the information being imparted. As part of our time together, you'll find that you'll be in a class that's affirming, non-judgmental, and supportive. All of us will have the opportunity to gain insight from one another and discuss what works with stress reduction and what doesn't. Additional written resources will be provided in the training, including burnout assessment tools, such as the burnout bubble, handouts on stress reduction with a special document I've created called The Power of No. And there will also be other self-care documents which you're free to download and share with others at your institution of higher learning. At the end of the workshop, I'll also host a live Q&A where questions may be asked on topics related to burnout, and we can interact with one another. For folks seeking to obtain a document that demonstrates their participation in the workshop, we will offer a certificate of completion, which is earned after creating a customized goal-setting plan for burnout prevention. This goal-setting plan can be thought of as a self-care plan, which is something that you can take with you from this workshop, use in the here and now, as well as the future. I want to thank you for your time, and I strongly want to encourage you to please join us for Avoiding Online Faculty Burnout. Regardless of your role at your institution of higher learning, be it a faculty member, a support person, or an administrator, this workshop is the one that you really want to think about taking. It may be the most important workshop you'll take all year.